Alright, and we gotta get it on this pallet. Antifreeze soaked ratchet strap. This thing dumped a couple gallons in my truck. Threw it all over me. Yep, got the camper under there the other day. Still gonna try to move one of those buildings. I wanted to put them over here where I had all those logs. Well, I've been moving the logs where I had all those logs from the storm. I want to get those out and work on those. They need something needs to happen to them. They're on the 2-year mark easy, so they've been laying in the shade though, so they're still quite moist. Or I better get them done. All right, well, after I get this strap down, I'm gonna bring it up to the garage. So what I'm gonna do is power wash this one. Go through it, clean it up, and this one here is eventually going to get set in place of that one. All I got to do is just unbolt the tranny, lift the motor out, everything will bolt up same, but that way I can do some much needed maintenance on that one. So yeah, I could just run that one until it blows, but I don't really want them to blow. This one definitely looks like it was leaking around the old covers there. Got another PTO with it. I got like 6 of these PTOs now. 5 transmissions, but 6 PTOs. See, I thought it was a bonus. Another starter. Don't know whether it works, but this motor ran when removed. So I'm gonna probably snag the alternator and throw it on over there too, since we don't have no alternator on that motor. Yep. Has that piece to where I could run a single pipe if I wanted to. I threw just an exhaust pipe that I had laying around the other day. Threw it on the one side here. That's why it was quiet. Well, I didn't post that video, but anyways, last video I made, I watched it and it was real quiet. So all right, let me quit yakking and get this strap down. Go. Well, cool. I'm gonna go put this in the garage. I'm gonna power wash it off real good first, and then it's gonna go in the garage and get all cleaned up. And the oil pan is dented, so we're gonna see if I can straighten that out. I got a few covers for the PTO, so I'll probably take that off. Well, because I don't plan on using that transmission. I don't know, it might be, I mean, still good to go. Just because he cut that end off, I mean, that's no big deal. Change the top. But, no. Glad I got all the mounts. Here's something I'm going to snag for this one for now, so I can change the oil filter easier. On that one, it has the big can. I was going to grab one. I kept going to grab one. They're about 50 bucks. Maybe I still will. I just, not one of the high priority to buy when you're, you only make so much money, you know. Hasn't been that great selling any lumber lately, it seems like. Yeah, maybe that alternator still works. We'll see. Anyways, the generator on that other motor is toast. The bearings in it are howling. So, alright, and a rundown on the forks. I just got them pinned through for now so I can get a little bit done, but I need to cut 2 more pieces off from that sawmill again, from where I cut this from, and go here so that way I can open the forks further and I can put another mounting place on this side. They just didn't want to line up, you know, it wasn't wide enough. So add on this side, and there'll be one on the inside, so you won't see it because it'll be an I-beam. And then on this one here, got to do the same thing. I know the welds aren't the greatest. I became a stick welder overnight, but what the hell? Starting to dig the Detroit out. We're gonna start doing something with it. So everybody that doesn't know, I was gonna put this on the American originally. Well, down here in this little valley, I got neighbors right through the woods there, neighbors right through the woods there. I'd really rather not that howling right here. This motor here is nice and quiet when it has the exhaust on it. So you can't even really hear it up by the road. So we're gonna stick with this one here, and we're gonna set that other mill up with all the pieces that I've slowly been gathering together up the hill on the flat out back. So that's what's gonna happen with that. Oh, I'm gonna dig this out of here, and I want to get at this old fencing that's just been piled up here. It needs to go to the junkyard. Looks like shit. Alright everyone, well, I just thought a few updates and a little loader work. Getting cold around here. Sweatshirt weather easy, but just been down with no forks, and then so I was gonna rip this apart and go to mount that new wheel that I've had for it. Showed you guys many times. I was up here finishing up some boards, and last cut, it didn't fall off. It just, this is a really junky tire, and it didn't last long. So I have another nice thick Carlisle tire. I'm gonna put a new tire on there for now just to get me another month or so, and then I'm going to have to more than likely take the blade off this, unbolt this mandrel, get the drive shaft off, and maybe have to take it somewhere to have this and that removed. You know, I'm sure I could remove it, but it might get the shit beat out of it. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna go crazy to where I break stuff. I'd like them to try to, that bearing is still nice and tight. I'd like to try to save it because that bearing does have to come off. So to get that off, and then I'm gonna put the new wheel on. Then hopefully after everything's come off, if I have any more troubles with the wheel, I can, this will come apart a lot easier. You know, it's been on here for probably 50 or so, probably more than that, since he changed that one from a Babbitt bearing, which I have the other Babbitt bearing, and it's in beautiful shape. I thought about slapping it up there on that one because that one's starting to get a little bit wore out. Yeah, because I don't see any other way of getting that stuff there. I doubt this steel piece that's under here that runs the flat belt, I doubt we're getting that off. And you'd have to get that off to get an actual bearing, or else cut off the end, and I don't think you want to do that. So all right, everyone, just little updates. Oh, one other one. So carriage is on its last legs. I went through and I dumped diesel on everything, and God, this last video I was going to post, the teeth didn't want to grab. I've been having a lot of issues with that, not grabbing it at all. And I did try to change the one that I thought wasn't grabbing. But I feel like this handle, all the slop in it, is messing with the grab, because I took that off and it seemed to do a few strokes good. I didn't go real crazy because I was just down here closing up for the evening. But yeah, so and then the wood is just shot. My patch is already broke down here. So that carriage, I think I know the measurement, but I'm gonna check it one more time, and I am just gonna put the flat gear on it. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna make here in the next day or so 3 14-foot 4x4s. A 4x4 would put me losing about a 1/2 inch of cut, and it would set it up a little higher, so when the board drops off, there's a little bit of drop and help it fall over easier. So I'm gonna go a pinch higher than what it sits right now. And then I was gonna just go buy some from the lumber yard so that they're treated. Still might. They're 90 bucks. But also a benefit of buying from the lumber yard is, well, I won't gain that 1/2 inch, but they'll have that rounded for fitting in this groove better. So I still might at least go do that. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm just gonna keep cleaning up on my messes, and till next time.